Happy Friday and welcome to a new episode. I'm so happy to have you here today. Today, I'm going to share with you 4 things that I'm learning at the moment, 4 breakthroughs that I had and that are really helping me to transform my perspective and how I live my life. So, hopefully, that will help you and serve you too. Let's start with number 1. The first little perspective shift and breakthrough I had was actually me getting super passionate about something. I shared it in my stories on Instagram. So if you don't follow me yet on Instagram, please go and join the community over there. I love to have you on Instagrams and share things. Anyway, it's how this whole society, this culture, this system is built and focuses so much energy into trying to fix our weaknesses. And I see it in the work environment, I see it in my entrepreneurial journey, I see it in society, and I see it even in personal development and spirituality. We try so much. Think about it. We spend so much time and energy focusing on what we're not good at instead of really placing all that time and energy on the things that we're naturally good at. For instance, I've seen so many people trying to meditate still for hours, and it's not what they like, it's not what they're good at. They don't like to be still. It doesn't really work for them, but for some reason they're trying to be better at it with time, effort, and consistency. Those people are usually very easily able to tune into God or their spirituality or a flow state, something more subtle, and really feel the energies when they're dancing, for example. But it comes so naturally to them, they won't focus on that. Another example is me in my business. I spend so much time trying to be good at everything and also having my ego in the way. It was so hard for me to admit that I was not good at something. I felt so much shame around it. I wanted to be good at everything, or at least kind of okay, but I wanted to master everything so that I could feel legit in a way. It doesn't even make sense. Now I have adopted a whole new mindset where I decide to invest my time and my energy into the things that I'm good at. And in the dream world, I would hire people to do the things that I'm not good at, so I don't spend a lot of time and energy. Right now, it's not possible for the state of my business, and I'm still a solo entrepreneur, so I do a lot of things myself. But in the future, that's also what I'm going to do. There is no need to be good at everything. So the mindset also that I've adopted, because I got cut out, I needed to take care of the baby. You know how it is nowadays. You have a podcast from a mama, so the child is going to be around all the time, and sometimes I need to post the podcast, or sometimes you're going to hear her in the podcast, whatever. I actually believe she would love to have her own podcast because she's so talkative. It's so funny. Closing the tangent here, I got into the mindset of get over it. It's okay. Like, it's killing my ego because I want to be good at everything, but to know, like, I suck. Like, I'm not good at selling my stuff. Okay, get over it. We can move on and we can actually improve when we know our strengths and weaknesses. Another example is PL. He got a meeting with the employment service in France, whatever, and the girl was asking him. PL is my partner, by the way. If you're not familiar to the podcast, then it's the first time listening. And she was asking him, like, do you know how to sell yourself or whatever? And he was like, I said yes, because obviously no, but I didn't want her to like put me into a training to be good at that. And I was like, yeah, this is the whole system is built on that. It's built on, oh, you're not good at that. Let us, train in that so that you become better in this. He's an amazing space holder. He's an amazing, very compassionate person to lead a group, for example. He knows how to do so many things. Selling is not his strength. That's it. Like, get over it and let's focus on our strength.
Imagine a world where we could all be in our zone of genius. How freaking amazing that would be. Like, I'm so excited when I think about that, because everyone will be even more fulfilled and happy because they would be doing the things that they're good at naturally. They don't have to put a lot of effort into it because they're naturally good into it. Of course, this is something that needs to be nuanced. For example, I was really bad at creating visuals, marketing visuals. And when I was in a business school, I got part of a sort of an association, and I needed to do the communication for them. And it was about sustainability. So we had a contract with a local producer of fruits and vegetables. And we were creating those baskets, fruits and vegetables, local, healthy, obviously sustainable, ethical baskets. And I needed to advertise it. Let me tell you, it was so ugly what I was doing. It was so ugly. And I was like, I can't believe I created such an ugly visual for the thing. But in this instance, I wanted to be better at it because I knew I had a vision in my head. I just didn't have the skills to bring that vision into reality. And I practiced and practiced and practiced and became quite good at it until even people hired me to create their visuals. That was back in 2021, 2022, when outside of just my coaching business, I also have done a lot of marketing for other people. So in that instance, it's great to work on your skills if it's something you want, because you're going to have the passion and the drive to do it. But if it's a chore and it's heavy and you just don't want to do it, then it's not worth it. Let's move on to the second thing that has been such a game changer for me, and I wish I could scream it on top of roofs, because it really did the trick in my mind. Nothing really shifted externally, but in my mind and the way I feel showing up for my business is so different. So this one is about leadership. I took a workshop recently, and it just clicked for me. Something clicked for me. I've been through different phases in my businesses, and I've always shared on Instagram, whether I was a yoga teacher or a coach, selling my online programs, I was always showing up online, and my favorite platform is Instagram. So the algorithm really loves consistency. It loves when you show up daily, consistently. And I had a beautiful consistency for 2020, 2021, 2022, almost sharing in my stories every single day. And then life happened and I was not as consistent. And also my mindset around this changed. So the first mindset shifts I had was, well, I don't want to be a slave. I feel like a slave to the algorithm. It's not a way of life. You know, I need to be able to take time off if I'm tired. I want to feel connected to myself, my rhythm, nature, etc., etc. And this feeling of being a slave to something, especially to internet, especially to Instagram, please know that's not a way to live my fulfilled life. So then it was a dilemma, because I still want to show up for my business, but I also don't want to be a slave. So what do I do? Well, I didn't have to do anything. Actually, I just had to change my perspective about it. And this is my favorite perspective shifts of this recent period of my life. That is, if you want to be a leader, and if you have listened to the recent episodes, I'm really working on that internally. How can I show up more as a leader for myself, for even my family, my community, the things that I want to share, the message that I want to spread, and the kind of new world I want to create at my scale, obviously, but you know. So this leadership thing was observing also how other people are doing it. And in this workshop I mentioned before, the lady was saying, well, as a leader, consistency is a way for people to trust you. And I heard this many times in business. People need to trust you. We know that already. But in this case, it was associated with the leader. And I've seen it so many times, how sometimes I love someone's content and they're showing up daily. It's so great to receive their things, and I love to see the backstage and everything. I just follow them on Instagram, love it. And then they disappear for 8 months, and they only show up again when you can sense that they need money because they're selling you something, and that is the only reason why they're showing up again. And it makes you lose the trust and the respect and the admiration you can have for someone. You lose this quality of leadership when you do that. And I've done that myself so many times. Super consistent, and then disappearing for a month, coming back, selling something because I needed the money and I wanted my business to continue flourishing, etc. And then disappearing again, and then trying to show up again. And I feel like this mindset shift is what's helping me to show up consistently. It also helps my creativity so much, but that's a whole other story. Here I wanted to focus on this. As a leader, people must be able to rely on you. And you're only reliable if you show up consistently. It doesn't mean posting every day on your stories. That's just my personal example. And being a leader doesn't mean you're on stage and, it's your own leadership with yourself. Maybe it's going to the gym consistently, and that's your leadership to yourself. As a leader of your own life, you get to rely on yourself and to do the things you said you're going to do. But for me, I saw it so easily on other people, even people, content creator or coaches or mentors or even companies, businesses that I loved and respected and admired. And then they lose that consistency and I drift off. I'm not interested as much anymore. I don't have the same admiration. And obviously I don't have the same trust, but someone that is showing up consistently, I don't even realize it. It's completely unconscious. I don't think, oh, I trust this person. But it's when I actually do the work of looking into how I feel. And it made me really question also how my presence and how I've been unreliable in so many instances in my life. Again, we're going to adopt the same mindset that I was sharing before. Get over it. It's okay. We're human. We fuck up. We make mistakes. And we're just trying to do better each time. So next time I'm going to do better. And for now, it's helping me to show up consistently. And it feels great because I want to be someone that can be trusted. I want someone that can be reliable. And that's very important for me. And that's even more important for the messages and the transformation that I'm trying to bring to people, whether it's my clients in my paying offers, but also my, everyone that comes in contact with me. The third one is relating to my body in a specific way. I haven't really realized it until a friend held a mirror back at me by almost telling me, you should listen to your body, you should do this, you should do that. And because I was talking about how much I was struggling with my self-image, being postpartum, having gained so much weight, being quite insecure in my own skin. It's such a weird thing. And she was helping me, supporting me through that. And I realized how over the years I've learned to listen to my body in a way that is so delicious, and it made me feel so grateful. So if there is anything you can take away from today, yes, the fucking breakthrough from before about being reliable, being a leader, and therefore being consistent in whatever you do is important, and that's an exciting breakthrough. But this one is closest to my heart because I care so much about making you feel in love with yourself and your body and what you're feeling. And you can still find that even if you don't feel happy about the way your body looks. I don't really feel happy with the way my body looks right now, but I still feel an immense amount of love, and all of my self-love practices and my feminine rituals are really helping me to support all of this. It's what keeps my self-love afloat, and it's transformational. So when my friend was telling me, don't force it. I know some people get very drastic and strict and rigid with forcing themselves to work out after pregnancy to lose the weight and get in shape as fast as possible. I was like, I would never do that. Even though I don't feel super happy with the way I look in the mirror, I have built this strong connection with my body that even if it's not at its best, I still have a minimum. I have a minimum self-love and I'm not going to go underneath that. And the bottom line is I will listen to my body. I will truly trust my body. I'm not forcing anything. I'm showing up with so much discipline in my workouts. I haven't missed a workout, but I had to sometimes take a rest day when it was supposed to be a workout day and work out on a rest day because listening to my body. And I think it takes mastery and time to get to that point of being able to tune in and know what the body needs and not let the head interfere. Because of the baby now, sometimes my head is telling me, oh, you can't work out at 10 or 11 p.m. But I still show up because discipline. But if my body in the morning feels so tired and sick and I just feel like I need the rest, then I listen to the body. So not listening to the head, but truly listening to the body. It's so delicious and I wish everyone could experience that. Also, she was sharing about just like forcing the body to recover from childbirth faster. And of course, if there is a special magical genius coming in front of me and I would make the wish to wake up tomorrow and have what I think is the perfect body for me, and to wake up without effort and feel super sexy and beautiful. But in reality, I would actually love to give my body the space and the time. My body went through so much carrying a child for 9 months and then childbirth. Like, give it time. And I realize it's so amazing to love myself in this way, even though I don't love the reflection in the mirror. Can you imagine? Can you imagine feeling so insecure in your skin and you really not liking the way you look and not knowing how to dress anymore and just feeling really overweight, but still keeping some amount of self-love? And something that is helping me is showing myself and my body this self-love by doing things for myself every day. I meditate, I stretch or do yoga, I have little sensual rituals. This is something that I've taught in my program Soft and Surrendered that is about to not exist anymore because something exciting is going to replace it. It's going to be actually an amazing thing where we're going to talk about all things feminine energy and those kind of rituals. I have learned and grown so much when it comes to this because being a mom now, trying to work out, trying to take care of myself, of my child, of my relationship, of everything, and trying to get some amount of sleep. Well, I don't have 5 hours in the morning to do my practices and my rituals anymore, but I have found amazing ways to connect with my sensuality, especially, that are super fast and they're so effective. I almost cannot believe it because I'm like, I spent hours in my life before that being in my feminine practices when I could reach almost the same state of flow and intuition and self-love in just a few minutes. Sometimes it takes 3 minutes and I'm like, how did I shift my energy in 3 minutes? Like, are you fucking kidding me? And I feel like there's a whole self-sabotage around thinking that it has to be long. So anyway, it was a lot for point number 3, but my point number 3 was do anything that is possible for you to be in tune with your body and truly listen to the body more than your head. And finally, the last lesson is going to be really, really quick. It's to be in a movement of constant learning. Even when you think you master something, there is always a way you can deepen it. And that's what I'm applying to my life right now. I don't care about my external success. Of course, I do care. Like, this is such a big lie. I do care. But I don't care as much if I know that I'm doing everything for the things that I want and the things that I'm pursuing. And if I'm still learning along the way. When I feel depleted and depressed, it's because I am stagnant. I hate to be stagnant, even though life has to be stagnant sometimes too. But to be in a state of constant learning is so precious and so important. To keep an open mind as well, I have came to accept a lot more different opinions. And I always thought of myself to be someone really open-minded, very understanding, etc., compassionate, empathy, having a lot of empathy. Oh, this is empathy? It sounds so weird. Empathy. I don't remember how you say that in English. What the fuck? Okay, so I really thought of myself being a good person, basically. And I realized that I am very, very opinionated. And I love to have people that have the same opinions around me. So, for example, I have the unfollow button very easily. Like, I can easily unfollow someone if I just don't share the same mindset, or if I'm annoyed. And I think that's something that I need to cultivate still. And some people really need to do that because they are getting polluted with things they don't vibe with. But as soon as we have core values, common core values, then I'm actually now interested in being like, oh, that's how you do life. That's how you do business. That's how you do your spiritual practice. That's what you believe. Wow, that's interesting. And that's your truth. I can have mine, and many other people are going to have many different truths. It sounds so silly and so simple when I say it like that, but I'm deepening this way of thinking. Everyone has a place to do it and to actually learn from it. That's what I was talking. The fourth point of this podcast would be constant learning from actual training. Like, I'm training myself in many things right now, listening to podcasts and watching YouTube videos to keep learning about business and spirituality and all the things that I'm interested in, biohacking, like a lot of things that I love to learn more about. And simultaneously learning from our life experiences and what we came in contact with, even if we don't resonate with, even if we're not going to apply the same thing. But I feel like it's important to stay a healthy, balanced human being and to keep our ego in check as well, to not believe that we're the king of the world and we know everything better than everyone. It's great. I've seen this particular woman online and I didn't vibe with the way she was doing things. She also has a podcast and she runs more business stuff. And I was just like, I don't vibe. And then I got curious. I was like, I don't vibe, but I can see we have the same core values. And it's interesting to see how she's doing things, because I would never do it this way. But let me see, let me be curious. May oh my God, it's hard. May I be in an open mindset about it. That's it. I know I've spoke maybe a bit fast and my English is not the best today. So thank you for being with me all this way. If you stayed with me all this way to the podcast. I have a baby to tend to so that my partner can go and take care of the garden. That's also why I'm rushing and speaking fast. Hope you had a wonderful day, wonderful episode, and I talk to you next week.